Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we are going to see that how we can create one Windows service. So this will be the first part, like the basics of the Windows services, the code we will discuss. We have already discussed about the basic concepts, the theoretical concepts in the previous video. In this video, we are going to write the supporting functions which will be needed for the Windows services. And in the next video, we will see that how they are executed and we will install the service. Okay, so let us see how we can create it. So let me open the Microsoft Visual Studio 2022 and let me create a new project. So I'm going to create a new project in C++ and this is next, and I'm going to give it a name, Windows Service. Okay, so let me just create it. I will provide the piece of code that I will write here, all those things into the repository, and I will share the link of that repository. And that repository is basically public repository, so you can easily check out the code from there. So let me just remove all this code, and I already have the code written with me. So let me write that code for you one by one. These lines I will write and let me explain you one by one. So let me first copy and paste these files. So you can see here that I have included windows.h, and you must be aware like why I have added this file, because I need the Windows functionality here. So whatever windows.h contains, those supported structures, those supported functions, all those will be needed. So here is the service status. The first variable that I have declared is of type service status. So let us see what the service status contains. So this is the structure which is defined in the Windows. There is a file. Let me see what is the name of this file. I cannot see this file name. So let me go to the top, bring it to the top. So this is winsvc.h. Okay. So winsvc.h contains this particular structure, which is service underscore status. And in this, you can see like there are different variables inside this structure. One is DW service type, other one is DW current status, DW controls accepted. All these things are there. So if you want to understand the meaning of all these, you can simply type in on the Google, and you can go to the Microsoft MSDN portal, and there you can find out the description of all these variables. And if you are not able to understand any of the meanings of any of the variables, then you can comment in the comment section. Okay. Otherwise, it's very simple. Like for example, this one, like it shows that what kind of service it is. Current state shows like what state of the service right now is. Like, is it running? Is it stopped? Is it paused? Right. So all these things are shown, or all these things are indicated by the value of this variable. Okay. And now this is like DW controls accepted. This shows like what kind of request it can accept, like whether it can accept the request to stop the service, it can accept the request to restart the service or resume the service, pause the service. So all those controls which it could accept, all those are written here. Sorry, all those are indicated by this particular value. Okay, and the exit code, I mean, how the service exited. Was it normal? Was it not normal? So all those are used for the debugging purposes. Okay, then there is a specific exit code. All these things you can check. I mean, they are not the toughest ones. They are easier one, and you can easily understand what is the meaning of them. So let me come to the other one, which is service status handle. Let us see what is this one. So this is the one you can see like service status handle. If you see this, this has been passed under this particular macro, which is declare handle. So let us see what does this contain. Okay, so you can see here a declare handle. Oh wow, this is interesting. Okay, so here if you see like this declare handle takes the argument. I hope you are aware about the macros which takes the argument. So here it is taking one argument, and then it has been expanded into this one. So I would like you to, just for your knowledge purpose, can you write something like this, your own? You can just copy and paste this one, and you see like how it gets expanded. What does it contain after the expansion, that you can see. Okay, after expansion, what it will become, right? So here you can see like it is a structure basically which contains an integer variable which is having the name unused. So basically it's a kind of pointer, but it is containing the integer value, some kind of integer value it is containing, because it is a handle. And if you are aware about the handle, then handle is nothing but the entry in the process handle table. When you start your process, when your program starts, then it is loaded into the memory, and when it is loaded into the memory, then it is known as the process. So when your process is started, then all the kernel objects, they are created, and their entries are stored into a table which is known as the process handle table. So this is nothing but an integer value, and it is a kind of pointer. If you see here, it will be a kind of pointer here. If you see this, declare handle is nothing but, if you come to this, then this becomes like underscore, sorry, asterisk name. So basically this is a pointer, and this pointer is underlying value is, pointer's underlying value is an integer. So it is containing some kind of integer value, right? Some kind of address or some kind of index in a process handle table. Okay. So the next one you can see. So basically this is a kind of service handle, which is like something similar to the file pointer. When you work with the files, then you must be aware that if you're working with the file, then in that case you create a file pointer, right? Similarly, this is a kind of pointer for the service, right? And here it is like we have created another handle for the event object, and we have given it a default value, invalid handle value. So what is the significance of this one? This is the one which will be used for waiting on the request. Like someone could, someone could stop the service, someone could pause the service. I'm talking about this one. Let me just show you practically. This is the services, and inside the services, if you see these things, then you can understand that these are the services. And if you want to do the right click, if you want to start, stop, restart, all these are the events. So if you want to stop it, then it is an event. If you want to start it, then also it's an event. So you never know that when the client will be, or when the user will be stopping the service, when it will be restarting the service. So to wait on them, we need a event object. I hope you are aware about the event kernel object. If no, then we have another playlist on the same channel where we have discussed about the Windows programming. So you can go there and you can understand the concepts related to the event handling, right? So not event handling, basically Windows events, right? So how you do the Windows event, how you work with the Windows event kernel object. So that has been explained there, right? So here we have created the handle to the event object so that we can wait on the event object, which will be there with respect to the various events like starting, restarting, stopping the particular event. Okay. And now we have three different functions written here. One is service main, another one is service control handler, and the next one is service worker thread. Okay, so let me just write their definitions. So these are the definitions. So first, let me explain you about the service main. Let me just write it. So I have first written the function, the definition of the function service main. So what does service main do? So how it is used, I will show you. But as of now, just I am defining three functions. In the next video, you will see that how these are used. Okay. So there is a function service main. Inside this function, we have given the status like fail. By default status, we have given the fail. And then we have done here like we have passed the service register service control handler. And this particular function is called to register your service with the service control manager. If you have not seen the previous video, then I would request you to go and first watch that video. Otherwise, without that, you won't be able to understand that what is the meaning of the SCM or the service control manager. So it takes two arguments. Basically, we are registering our service to the service control manager. I mean, whatever you are able to see here, services, all these services that you are able to see, these are handled by the service control manager. This is basically the interface. This is just the user interface from where you are controlling your services. You are starting, stopping the services. But behind the scene, there is a service which is running, and that service is known as, uh, SCM, Service Control Manager. So it takes two arguments. One is real time. One is the name of the service that you want to create. It's like real time update service, and the other one is like service control handler, right? A pointer to a function, or you can say, a callback function. We are giving here a callback function, service control handler, so that it knows that when someone will do the stop, start, restart, in that case, where the control should go, which function I should look for to handle that event. So to handle the events like start, stop, restart, this function will be called, right? But here you can see this is some error shown here. So the reason here is that I have to set the, yeah, go to the advanced and just set it like use multi-byte character set and apply it, and then it will be gone, right? And then it comes like service control handler, because I have not given the correct name, so I need to write the correct name here. It's like service control handler. So this will be the callback function. I will define this function as well, this service control handler as well. So we will see that what is the uh, purpose of this function. So in short, you can understand that this particular function, register service control handler, is registering our service, our Windows service with service control manager, so that it can provide us an interface to start, stop, and do all the operations which are possible against a service. And whenever you will do the start, stop, whatever you will perform, then in that case, where that request will go, who will handle that request, who will actually update the status of your service, for that this is the function, service control handler. So this is the callback function. I hope you are aware about the callback functions. I'm not going to tell you about the callback functions here. I hope you are aware about the C programming, right? So if you are not aware about the callback functions, just read about the function pointers and read about the callback functions from any source. On my channel, I think I don't have any such playlist where I have discussed all these things under this C programming language. Okay, so you can see that the purpose of this function is to give the name of a service to the service control manager, that yes, we will be dealing with this service, and there is another uh, callback function which we are telling to the service control manager that you need to call this function whenever there is a request to start, stop, or whatever service request comes. Now here it's like, if it fails, then you need to do this. These things are really you know very easy to understand. Like here we have initialized it with the zero memory, and this is like service status. So this is the service status variable, and this was the status handle. Basically, the first one was this one, handle, the pointer to the service. Just like you have the pointer to the files, similarly we have this pointer for the services. Okay, so here you can see that we have initialized our service status with all the zero values, and then we have given the type of the service, like what kind of service it is. So it is a Win32 service which runs in its own process, and then the controls accepted we have not declared here, and we have current state as service start pending, right? So the current state, whenever your service will be installed, then it will be in the pending start state. Okay, so you can understand the meaning of these variables. I have already told you that you can go to any of the MSDN source and you can understand this. And then we have just like writing this one doesn't make the service status as pending. You need to call this API, set service status. Once you call this API, then what happens? Once you call this API, after this, you must need to do this first. This register service control handler is must needed. After you have registered your service with the service control manager, after that, you can interact with the service. with the service control manager. And how you are interacting, you are asking the service control manager to set the service status as service start pending. And you are telling it like this is a Windows service, Win32 service, right? And if it fails, if there is something wrong, then in that case, we will log the things. I hope you are aware about the instrumentation or logging. Instrumentation is done to track the issues when they occur in the production system. Okay, so instrumentation is nothing but the logging. Right? Okay, suppose something fails here. We don't know what failed, but when some issue comes, then you must need to be aware that what issue came, right? So for that, you need to provide a logging here. So that we will do also after understanding this one, like Windows services, we are going to understand that only. We are going to do the instrumentation only. We will do the logging. We will create a log file. Okay. So this is the set service status. If it fails, then we will log. And now we have created one event here. Why we have created one event? We have to create a service stop event to wait on later, because once you start the service, okay, service start pending, you have just set the service status, but you need to wait for the service to uh, stop. Someone should uh, raise an event to stop the service, right? For that one, we are creating this kernel object, which is a event kernel object. And you know that we are creating what kind of kernel object we are creating, what kind of event kernel object we are creating. Since we have given here 0, so sorry, false, then it means that we are creating auto reset event object. I hope you are aware about the auto reset event and manual reset event object, right? So the second one, sorry, the second one is okay. Second argument is whether we are creating a manual or auto reset event object. So second argument is true. My bad. So if the second argument is true, then in that case, we are creating a manual reset event object. If you are not aware about the manual reset event object, you can read it about from the MSDN library. Okay, MSDN portal, you can go and you can read about it. What is a manual reset event object? Otherwise, you can refer my Windows programming playlist. Okay, then we have false. False means whether you are setting this event, whether you are signaling this event or not initially. So we are not signaling this event. Okay, we are making it false. We are not signaling this event. Got it? So what is the meaning of signaling and non-signaling? That also I'm not going to discuss here. You can refer my playlist for Windows programming. So you can go there because this is not a video for the event kernel object. It's just, we are discussing about the Windows services, how it can be created. Now, if it is null, then in that case, what it will do, it will stop the service. Okay, how it will stop? If you are not able to create this event object, then what is the purpose of waiting? I mean, you have failed. So if you have failed, then in that case, what we are doing, we are setting the status, the current state of the service as stopped. And just by setting it, will it be stopped? No, you need to call this API, set service status, just like you have called it here, set service status, service start pending. So similarly, we are passing here like service stopped so that the service can be stopped by the service control manager, right? So if anything again comes wrong, then we will see the instrumentation. Now comes the, you know, now comes that point where we are going to um, tell this service control manager that we want to start the service finally. Okay, and we will accept the control as service except stop. Okay, so which means that from here, if you see this, when my service will be visible here in the services panel, then in that case, I want only stop, this stop to be available for me, right? I don't want the restart to be available. So restart will be disabled. But if you want to be, want your service to also accept the restart, then in that case, you can write like service except, I think service except something is wrong. Okay, service except restart, something like that should be there. But I think the service restart should be already available with you. Yeah, if start is available, start is by default available, so restart will be available to you. Okay, so service except stop, and apart from that, if you want to do something else, then you can write like service except. Okay, if you want to do like pause, continue, pre-shutdown, shutdown, if you want all these, then in that case you can add these ones. Okay, but we only want to stop here, just like a normal, very generic service. And now we have set the current state as running, which means that my service has now started running. Okay, so this is the service running. And now the rest of these have been set to zero. So here we are finally setting our service status as, running. So when the code will reach here, then in that case, our service will be running. It will show as running, something like this, just like these services. If you see this one, like this is running. That is why you are able to see stop. If it was not running, then you can see the start one enabled, right? If you are able to see that stop is enabled, restart is enabled, then in that case, it means that this service is already running. Okay, so after that, we are creating a thread here. This service worker thread, right? The name should be correct. So I'm writing this way, service worker thread. So we are writing it here like service worker thread. So what it will do, this particular thread will be waiting for the user to issue some command. Like if you want to stop the service, if you want to restart the service, those are the commands. So those commands, our function, this API, this thread will wait, right? And this thread will wait on what? This thread will wait on this event, this particular event, which is the G service stop event. Okay. So that we are going to discuss in the next video. Okay. And then we are waiting on the thread that we have created for long. How long? Infinitely. I mean, we have to wait infinitely because we cannot stop it after some time. We have to keep running this thread so that it can keep waiting to start the service, to stop the service, right? So we are so here if you see, like if someone stops the service, then this wait will end. This how long this wait will work? This wait until our worker thread exits, signaling that the service need to stop. So if someone issues the stop request, then in that case this wait for single object, this function will return, this API will return, and after it will return, then you will be able to move away from this line 75, and then handle will be closed for the service event. Then our service will be stopped. Again, we are setting the current state here, and then we are setting the service status. Okay, without calling this API, you cannot actually set the service status. So I hope you might have understood, this service main function and what is the importance of this register service control handler. And there are two APIs. One is this callback function, and the another one is this particular thread function, entry point function, which will be waiting for the user to issue a stop command. So these two we will implement and we will see in the next video. I hope you might have enjoyed this video. You are understanding the concepts here. So we'll meet in the next video. Till then, have a nice day and bye bye. Thank